what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. It's your boy.
So let's talk about, Square, PayPal, Facebook, Shopify, Zoom, and Netflix have given up $1 trillion in market cap. What should we do next? So all of those stocks are stocks that we've talked about on Market Mondays. All of those stocks have had great declines. So what should investors do with those stocks?
Yeah, so I saw this. I want to give credit. I saw this on Josh Brown page earlier. Shopify is actually at a decent price to buy. Like I like it at $591.10 if it gets that low, but I really like it at $644. But what I want you guys to do is homework for everyone. Whatever the all-time high is over the last 10 years, mark that off, and then literally divide that number in half. That's where you want your secondary order to be, and then take off 75%, and then that's where your first order should be. The biggest issue that I want, and I know those of you who've been listening to Market Mondays from the beginning, Pandas, you're not doing it earnest, but for those of you just listening, everyone is buying everything too high and hope that it continues to go. And it's great for those of you that have friends that make money in 2020, but we've all had the feeling like, well, damn, when I get into the stock, it falls apart. And I don't care what you say. Like I jumped in and now it falls apart. Please mark off where half is. Prices always come back down to the averages. And in the beginning, I was like, hey, whatever a player averages normally, they're going to reset. Shopify is in the place where it should be. Facebook, I've given my take on that already. Netflix still has some value, but they have to get those costs under control, and I don't know how they're going to do it. And Square, I'm interested to see what their plan is. Like once they actually roll out their plan in June or July with their new team, what they're going to do. I think Square will be fine. But we're just getting back to normalcy, man. And I know for those of you that are down big, you hate to hear it, but please write down. So when I had my big losses in the beginning, that's what gave me the drive to like really figure this out and like, because there's a method, because I know people that were killing. So if you can trade, for those of you to do options and you have puts, you guys are killing. For those of you in futures, like some of you caught 1,000 ticks last week, you made your first 40 grand trading, have a plan that will work in every market. So if you stick to safety for long term, and I'm going to be very real, in these down markets, if you're a trader, you should be eating. The second point I want to make, don't get short-term bias, because when the market goes up, I don't want you to say, well, I made all my money off shorts, so I'm going to continue to short. Short the market while we're dropping, and then when we go back to the upside, trade to the upside and you'll be good, but you have to be able to do both. You have to be able to dribble with your left and your right. The left is long-term investing. The right side is trading. And if you put both together, you'll be great. And if I've made you money, please put yes in chat.
How do you feel about PayPal?
Trap my guy, what up? I want you to think I'm poo-pooing on your pick. PayPal's in trouble. Well, and this is the thing I always like to do before I give my opinion, right? Because when I do this with Dream Team, everyone in chat, please tell me who are the two biggest executives right now at PayPal and what are their strengths. So when I'm analyzing a team or a company, if I don't know who the star player is on that team, I can't wager with them. So for those of you who want to like bet money, right? If you don't have a superstar executive, it's the same as not having a great guard or a great forward, the stretch forward. Like it's going to be really hard to win. And plus being in that business with the margins not as thick as they should be. And once again, going back to that delight thing, PayPal, I appreciate you. Thank you for getting my account back up. I haven't always had the most pleasurable experience with PayPal.
True.
It's historic for like, and I get it. It's a tough business. They have to monitor how many chargebacks and all that. But no one that I ever talked to about PayPal is like, man, I just love them. There's more horror stories there, especially after PayPal Mafia left. And that price is now being reflected as a result. So I think they'll be fine maybe in a couple of years, but I really can see PayPal coming back down to like $82 and it's at 103 now. So they're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, those are two stocks like that and Facebook. When we talk about pre-pandemic pricing, if you go back to February 2020, they're right back to those prices. And so when we're talking, and I think that's a great strategy that you said, take 50% off the high, and that should be your secondary entry. I mean, it can be that simple for you, right? Like that's why I want to enter at.
And simplicity is best.
Right. Like, and you can see it like on the chart. If you put out the chart for 5 years, 10 years, or for its, you click all, you can kind of see some of these patterns. And so, like, these are not just words just to listen to. They're actually words.
This is the actual strategy. And we got
you should be
ball. This
that.
is it. And you can see it in what we do. Like, they don't have 19 different SKUs, right? Can you tell me why you just stuck with assets of reliability? And it works.
Works. Gotta go. It works. Double down.
Once you have a star, even with Apple, they have one phone. HTC, all the competitors, they have so many different. Too much variety is never good. You want to give one option. That's why I have Stock Club for long-term investing, Alpha, futures. That's it. Done. The simpler you can make your strategy, the better, because it's easier to execute. You don't need complicated strategy.
That's like what Drake said.
Let me say.
He says a bunch of quotes.
He said, I got one girl. She's my girl.
And nobody else get it?
That's it. Just one. Just focus on one.
That boy rotate through him, boy.
Focus on one.
Drake and Kathy Wood are dating, boy.
One at a time. Shout out to Kathy, man.
One at a time. Shout out to Drizzy. But also, this goes back to the ETF conversation as well. There's nothing wrong with ETFs, man. Like, it's especially if you're trying to pick a lot of these fringe stocks and, the stock of the week. You don't see ETFs. You don't see a good ETF drawing down like that.
Not on
Franklin Donatech still killing.
Yeah, I mean,
they slept on episodes. Man.
Yeah, I mean, ARK has drawn down.
A good ETF.
Okay.
And shout out to ARK. No disrespect.
And
to
a good,
ARK.
and I'll say I'll take the arrows. A good ETF is not going to be actively managed like that. That's a day trading fund.
Yeah.
No,
it's tough. Yeah. And I'm be like, if you guys don't want to invest long term, and I know I don't want you to beat me up. I'm for the culture. I want to see us win. Everybody wants quick flips off of stocks because you don't want to build a real business. If we had the option, all of us would just lay down and rest all day and not do any work. That's why I asked him, and I mean it. I'm like, how do y'all do all that traveling and still be nice? Y'all see my personality be terrible most days. I'm working on it now, must stay, right? But you have to build, and people will be like, yo, it's easy for y'all. Like, no, I've been an entrepreneur since before Wankster was on 8 Mile. You know how long? Some of y'all like, what's that? 03. Man, you have to build to have the safety that you want. And I know it's not always the answers that you guys want, but it's the truth. A lot of people are telling you everything is so easy. They're lying to you. You can see it in my growth. You can see it in there. Shout out to the interview they did with Steve Harvey, Ross. I mean, they've lined up some interviews that mainstream media have not gotten. That's a nice track list y'all got. That's looking like life after.
It's a fact. That is a fact.
All hits, no misses.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. Your boy going up. I know they can't stand it.